Hi everyone, welcome back to Open Here with me, Enby Andy, and episode 10 of my YouTube channel. Welcome back, thank you for coming back to watch the videos. This week is an important week for non-binary people. It's Non-Binary Awareness Week. Now this is only the second year we've been trying to raise awareness of what non-binary is. Obviously I'm quite new to it myself as well. But this week is really all about celebrating the uniqueness and individuality, what makes us, us. So whether you're femme, mask, something cute in between, whatever you want to be, let's celebrate it. Let's enjoy being ourselves and our true selves and being able to express who we are. So it's an important week. If you are cis, if you're not non-binary, do some research, go and read up about Non-Binary Awareness Week and make sure you're an ally and do what you can to support us. So as usual, we have 3 topics submitted by our viewers to discuss this week. The first one is who has been my inspiration so far. Then we have how did you feel growing up labelled as one gender as a child? And finally we'll round that out with dating as a non-binary person. So we'll go through those step by step, and just a reminder that what I need from you, the viewers, is questions and comments. So get in the YouTube comment section, hit me up on social media, put your comments in, any kind of questions or queries about being non-binary, and I might be able to feature your questions on the show. So let's get started with the first one. So who's been my main inspiration so far? Now, for me, it's mainly been my really close friends. They helped me understand who I was when I started questioning my gender identity. So this is Holly and this is Elaine. I was able to discuss the thoughts, the feelings, the real unsureness I had of who I was and where I belonged and really where my gender identity sat. So I discussed a lot with them. And they were patient, they helped me understand, they helped me look up links and direct me towards people who maybe are non-binary at the moment and were able to help. So without those two, I probably wouldn't be where I am at the moment. So Holly and Elaine, honestly, you two have been mega. I couldn't do this without you, so thank you very much. And then as time went by and I understood more and my understanding grew. Online I looked at different accounts. I mean, one of the biggest non-binary people on the internet would be Jeffrey Marsh, and they're a fantastic human. They're amazing, and the amount of love and kindness that they have is staggering, and I would definitely recommend you follow them on Instagram. Go on there, follow Jeffrey, and just listen to what they say. It's beautiful. And there's also, although she may not be non-binary, but the trans activist Eva Echo has been a constant inspiration in how she really kind of puts trans rights at the forefront of everything she does and fights for equality. And everything she does can be transferred across to being non-binary. Obviously, non-binary falls under the trans umbrella, and she's fantastic. So, Jeffrey Marsh, Eva Echo, find them on Instagram, follow them. They're amazing people and they'll be an inspiration for you too. So the second point we're going to go through was how did I feel growing up labelled as one gender. So I was assigned male at birth, and although at the time obviously I didn't know there were other options, I thought, you know, it'd be a boy or a girl. I never really fitted in, I felt, as a boy. It's one of those things, obviously looking back now as a 36-year-old, I can kind of pick out key points through my childhood where things didn't quite match up to how I was labelled. And with it, you know, it's one of those things that at that age in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't any kind of awareness of other options. And you were pigeonholed into being a boy or a girl. So there's things like football. My dad is a huge football fan and golf fan, and he obviously encourages kids to get into the sport that he loved, and I did, and I was terrible. I'm really, really bad at football, and golf, and every other sport actually. But yeah, being able to just having to play football, because it was the boy thing to do, growing up in a mining town in the northeast. Yeah, you had to do what the rest of the lads did, and it never felt right. I've never been a fan of football. I hate football. I think it's boring. It's a few men kicking a ball in a field. It's not my cup of tea. I know there are supporters of it, but no, it's never been for me. And the same as things like when it comes to friendships. When I was a teen, I'd always find it easier to have friendships with girls, mainly because I'm not saying I felt like a girl. I don't. I feel in between, but the feminine side of me called out to, really resonated with them in it, much more so than being kind of rough and tough lad, especially as teenager, young lads. So I think we all know what they're like. I just felt more at home with the feminine energy that girls gave off, and I think it is changing nowadays. I think it's changing massively. Young kids, teenagers, there's a much higher awareness of the options when it comes to gender identity, and people understand now that you don't have to be put into one box and you don't have to stay in that box for the rest of your life. And what I'm trying to do now as a parent with my 2 young kids is to make them aware of that as well. Just this week I got 2 new books for my kids, and I've been reading it to them, and they understand that, oh, okay, well, there's one book called Introducing Teddy, which is about a teddy bear who's trans. And this teddy bear is always been known as a boy, but it decides it wants to change its clothing and be a girl. And the kids loved it. It was a really heartwarming story about how the teddy bear wanted to be able to express itself, and its friends still accepted it. And there was another book, which was Jacob's New Dress, about a young boy going to school, but he wanted to wear feminine clothing. And he was still classed as a boy in the book, but it was important that his parents and his teacher and his friends accepted him for what he wanted to dress, because again, I think I mentioned this many times in previous videos, clothes don't have a gender. Anyone can wear whatever clothes you want. Who makes those rules up? Who cares? Wear whatever clothes you want. And as I was saying, I think kids have got a much higher understanding, much more open, much more aware, and the future's looking really bright for people who are different gender identities. It's so much different to the 80s and 90s, and do I wish I was born now to get the level of acceptance that is available nowadays? It would have been nice, but it is what it is. So yeah, growing up as a boy was not the best experience, but at least I had the courage and conviction now to come out at the ripe old age of 36, and I'm not looking back. And the final topic, dating as someone who is non-binary. Now, there is a lot of dating apps out there. Obviously, with the COVID restrictions, it's obviously going to be quite difficult to date the traditional way. Since you've got to sit in your chair, you can't mix, etc, etc. So I've been on dating apps, and some of these dating apps seem to be stuck in the Stone Age, where you have to be a man or a woman. You have to be interested in only men or women. And obviously, times have moved on. We understand there's much more sexual attractions, sexual identities and gender identities than that. So some of them are quite limited in that aspect. And one of the worst one I think has been Tinder. Tinder, as someone who is non-binary, was very cut and dry. I got my account suspended straight away because somebody didn't like me wearing a dress. It wasn't provocative, it was just me wearing a dress. Somebody reported the picture and I was instantly had my account suspended. I had no recourse to challenge it. I've emailed Tinder asking for my account to be unlocked and for an explanation. I've heard nothing back. So Tinder are not very LGBTQ plus friendly. I would definitely, as a non-binary person, say to avoid Tinder. There is specialist apps, for example, Her, if you are femme-leaning or if you're LGBTQ plus. Her is very geared towards the queer community. It's got a lot of options on it, and same as OkCupid, etc, etc. But what I found, obviously when you're being non-binary, is the kind of dating pool is smaller. A lot of people who are straight and cis won't give you a look, which, you know, they've got their sexual preferences, I understand, that's fine. So the dating pool is a lot smaller, but the people you do find, and I've been on 1 or 2 dates and I've made friends with a lot of people from these dating apps. The people you do find who are willing to embrace someone who is non-binary are amazing people, because they're accepting and their minds are open and they're not a closed book. So it's not easy dating as a non-binary person, but you know when you do find someone, it's going to be a very good person, because they're got a much more open mind, you'd think, than anyone else. So perseverance is key, finding the right kind of dating app is key, and just don't get downhearted. Like I said, there's so much geared against us, and you will get messages of abuse. I've had messages from TERFs, trans excluding radical feminists, and you just got to try and push through and ignore them and ignore the haters, and you be you, and you will find the right person eventually. So it's not as easy as it would be for someone who's cis, but there is people out there and you are worth it. So keep searching, keep looking, and you'll find the right person. So that's the topics for this week. Again, as I mentioned, this kind of video, it needs your contributions, it needs your questions. So get in touch with me on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook, or on the YouTube comment section. Get in touch with me and let me know what you think. Let me know any burning questions you have, which we can go through next week. And again, reminder, it's non-binary awareness week, so the onus is on you to do some research, look into being non-binary, and educate yourself about any kind of challenges and stigma we face. And then once you know about it, you can overcome it. And if you hear any kind of comments from someone who is saying the wrong things, you can challenge them. And that's what being an ally is all about. So thank you very much for watching. It's been great, and I hope to see you next week. So in the meantime, stay safe and stay friendly, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.